Good morning. So, first off, I have a camera problem. My camera isn't working properly. I have to figure out why OBS isn't recognizing my camera, even though everything is connected. So, I'm going to be doing that. So, y'all won't be able to see me today, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be a stream. I can still just do regular old screen record. So, here's Hurricane Hilda there with as of 1200 UTC, winds of 70 knots, about 80 miles an hour. Air pressure is up to about 988 millibars. It's going to move to the north, weaken to a tropical storm, quickly weaken, and then weaken into a depression. and continue to. So it peaked about 85 miles an hour. Nothing super crazy, nothing super strong, but certainly something that did develop, and it was something interesting to watch. So as you can see right there, those are the latest satellite images of Hurricane Hilda. Let me do visible high resolution here, so we have a better idea of what we're looking at here in terms of satellite imagery. So there's the system right there. Quite a bit of convection there wrapping around the center of circulation. So it is trying to hold on, but it is slowly weakening and weakening. So that's what we're dealing with now. So back to current storm. So here's Hurricane Hilda. Again, it's going to be moving away. I actually need to move this over here. Perfect. So actually the storm is going to be moving away from land, continuing to move away from land, and it's not going to be affecting anyone. So that's a good thing. Not going to be affecting anyone at all whatsoever, which is a very good thing. So no threat to land, just something to sort of watch out for. And my God, look at the invest we have in the West Pacific. It's just blowing up left and right. On to Tropical Depression 10, Tropical Storm 10. I forgot the name that they gave it. Oh yeah. I don't know how to pronounce that. Tropical Storm Ignacio? Oh, goodness. This is quite difficult for me to pronounce. But here is at 40 miles per hour right there. So you can kind of see lots of high cloud tops, lots of convection. It's not going to last for very long as it begins to make its way into stronger wind shear. And it's going to get ripped completely apart. But there is convection right there. Quite a lot of convection. Actually, we're seeing as high as negative 80 to negative 85 degrees centigrade cloud top. So, very, very high. Oops, not that one. Not the one I meant. But it's fine. Whatever. But as you can see, yeah, very high cloud tops there, ladies and gentlemen. Very lots of convection. A little island that's getting some heavy rain and obviously quite some gusty winds for sure. Certainly getting some heavy rain and thunderstorms from that. From this storm. Alright, let's take a look and see what else we got here. We still got remnants of 9. Still trying to get it back together, but it's not. It's like, oh, we got convection. No, it's just falling apart. It's pretty terrible. Tropical Depression 12 here with winds of 35 miles per hour. Expected to become a tropical storm and then weaken to a depression well before its landfall or anywhere near Japan. Here's Invest 90W, another storm just south of China there. Lots of heavy rain in that southern region of China, as you can see right here. Lots of heavy rain there. As you can kind of see right here, lots of going to try to intensify, but it's not going to very well. We're going to see if it intensifies and watch what it does. Remnants of whatever this disturbance was. I don't even consider it an invest. It doesn't have anything I would be investigating. It just looks like a remnants of a jet stream, I would actually say. 97W, 20 knots, 995 millibars. Another storm right off the coast of China. Looks like it is also expected to intensify quite quickly. It could be a moderate storm with a Category 2 typhoon. Category 2 typhoon, 976 millibars. So that's relatively a strong system. And 99 invest. 99W, another storm going towards China. So all these storms just look really, honestly, these storms just look messy. That's the truth. They just look messy. I do want to look at the forecast models. East Pacific, and then obviously the West Pacific, talking about that too, and that the North Atlantic is going to start getting active roughly around the 20th of August, near that time. Nothing's ever set in stone. It's just what we think is going to happen. So that's something to continue to weaken. And we got some more storms probably developing. That one seems really strong. Probably could be a Category 2 or even a Category 3 hurricane there in the East Pacific. Could certainly be something to watch. That could be a landfall there as possibly a Category 1 or a strong tropical storm, moderate to a strong tropical storm there off the coast in western Mexico. So that would produce quite some heavy rain, gusty winds, some flooding for sure. certainly something to watch there. Now the North Atlantic, I want to see what they're showing for the North Atlantic. That's really what I'm worried about. Right now, I don't think they're showing anything at all. But as we look into the future, we're certainly going to be watching what we see in the North Atlantic. Because the North Atlantic can start waking up, and that is what I'm worried about. It waking up and people not being aware that it's happening, and no one is just focusing on it. No one's worried about it. Everyone's just worried about everything else except the weather. And so that storm could certainly I'm waiting to see if we see a storm develop there. In the off that if I could speak off the coast of Africa there. In the coming days, so certainly watching that, certainly worried about that. What we could see in the North Atlantic, because there could be some serious storms, but nothing here in the next 48 hours. Nothing even here expected in the next 5 days. But again, we do have this disturbance here. A low pressure system associated with the remnants of Tropical Depression 9E is producing a broad area of disorganized showers. So it has a 50% chance of developing, has a chance of actually coming back together. So that's something we will be watching. Alright, I will. There's Hurricane Hilda continuing to weaken 988 millibars, 80 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at 7 miles per hour, so it is weakening very slowly. And then Tropical Storm Ignacio there at 40 miles per hour, moving to the northwest at about 9 miles per hour, 1,005 millibars. So look at the ECMWF and GFS. So here's the ECMWF. I don't know what the ECMWF is showing. ECMWF is showing a system that is expected to come off the coast of Africa. There, as you can see, there's that dot right there. This is a cyclonic vorticity. So there it is, just to the southeast of Cape Verde. As you can see, it develops. If this will go into time, perfect. It does. It's a very small. As you can see, it's a very small system, very compact. Now, depending on how strong this high pressure is, the subtropical, subtropical ridge of high pressure there, depends on really how strong that is. If it's strong and it pushes the storm south and to the west, this could affect not only the Caribbean and the Bahamas, but also the United States, Southeast United States, like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. We're going to be watching this storm very, very carefully and closely if this, in fact, does develop. East Pacific. So I showed the GFS. Now I'm going to look at the ECMWF. Now, as you can see, ECMWF does show that storm intensifying. And we do have a very, very broad low pressure system. Very, 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 very broad. So you see that what that is. All right, we go to zeros out. It is a hurricane. We got this depression right off to the west, and then we have Tropical Storm Ignacio to the northeast, to the east-northeast of Tropical Storm Hilda. They're both going to just kind of weaken and fall apart. And then we have this huge area of low broad pressure off the coast of Mexico. Very, very low. Pretty crazy to see that. Central Pacific, I don't think we're going to see anything affect Hawaii. Wouldn't hurt to look, but I don't think it's going to happen. Yeah. So, looking there, yeah, nothing developing. Anything that gets pushed towards that area would fall apart, and just maybe some rain showers in the Hawaiian region. But Hawaii is just some islands in the middle of the ocean. On the GFS, let's see what they're showing. Pretty sure the GFS is not going to be showing anything, but just double check in case they are. Give it a moment to load. I mean, yes, it does sort of. There is, in fact, a Fujiwara effect, I believe, happening there. But, I mean, it's not even classified as a depression, just some thunderstorm and rain. So you can see pretty cool Fujiwara effect going on right there. Very, very, very cool. see this. So as you can see, Fujiwara effect happening there. In that storm, and then you have that storm also right off the coast. So very watching this storm, these storms very carefully. Now I'm going to go off to the West Pacific, so you have an idea of what we're going to be looking at, and if there is anything super exciting. I think I already looked at the West Pacific. I actually don't remember. Certainly some systems for sure developing. This one here could be pretty strong just to the south of Tokyo. Definitely bringing some heavy rain and some gusty winds there in that region. But that seems to be the biggest storm, and then obviously a little storm behind it. Looks like it makes landfall there in southern Taiwan there. Pretty intense. And then it makes its way off to the south and into that jet stream. But nothing super duper crazy or anything. But certainly something to watch. Oh, yeah, pressure anomalies. Okay. Say pressure anomalies. Okay. Just gonna look at what are pressure anomalies? So this is, I guess, average, above average, below average. So 9 millibars below average, 9 millibars above average. So I just want to go back to that system. God, I wish my internet would actually load things a little bit faster. You know, internet can always be a little bit slow, and if it was a little bit faster, that would certainly be a little bit better. Alright, let's go. Let's see. So that system looking like just to the south. Looks like its peak is 974, just to the south of Japan there. 974 millibars. And then you can see it weakening and getting pulled apart. So nothing super duper interesting. It's nothing super duper crazy. Mainly the high pressure. There is quite a little bit of high pressure, which is protecting the Philippines. Is protecting this up here. Now oh, look at that, 1,029 millibars. Oh, that is some high pressure, y'all. Actually, that's not okay. I need to go all the way back. 1,000. It did 1,030. So as you can kind of see, this is for your GFS. So there's a lot of high pressure. About 1,020, about close to 1,030 millibars, which is allowing all these systems. You can see this ridge of high pressure coming down through here, sort of pushing everything roughly into this area. So nothing could just go up north like this because the high pressure is incredibly high. Okay, not allowing any low pressure to move north, causing it to move westward, and that would be, well, westward. So you kind of see there still has some high pressure here. So this has maybe some leeway up through here. If a storm were to develop through here, it would be pushed southward, but maybe coming through here. Very, very hard to say. I think this would, I mean, it would have to be pretty powerful, because when the stronger a storm is, ladies and gentlemen, the more push you could have against high pressure. If you have a 850 millibar, well, not 850, if you have a 900 millibar hurricane, you know, it's going to be able to move farther north, something like this maybe. But if you have a tropical storm, it's just going to be pushed south down here, and it's going to be like, it isn't really going to, it's going to just be pushed south into South America probably because of the high pressure. The stronger storm is the more north it can go. If that makes sense. The farther north it's more likely to go. But just really depends on that high pressure. So you can see this high pressure really intensifying, once again causing all this stuff to stay south, and not allowing these storms to actually go anywhere. But again, we really got to watch high pressure. We got to watch low pressure. We got to watch different high pressure systems, different regions of high pressure in the North Atlantic and in the Caribbean, and in the Gulf of Mexico. So we have an idea of where any systems would go if they were to develop. So I want to look at the ECMWF, mainly because the ECMWF is the one showing that system developing. Alright, so if we go into time, 0 hours, there it is. In 24 hours, it shows an area low pressure off the coast of Africa. But again, it does intensify to a relatively strong storm. As you can see, category 2 hurricane there. Now, because it's stronger, it's able to it's able to push its way up. Now, because you have an area of high pressure here, you have high pressure here, and you have a high pressure here, my best guess would be that the storm will come through here and probably try to crevice its way up through here, depending on where all this high pressure goes. Now, if this high pressure weakens and goes away, goes away, or moves up through the jet stream like that, and this storm could make landfall towards the United States. If this intensifies, again, this is 1030, this is 1023, and so this is going to be more dominant than this. So this is going to push this low pressure system this direction. I also got high pressure here, so got high pressure here, 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 and here, and here. It's all over the place. High pressures everywhere. So this system, if the ECMWF is right, the European model, okay, this would move through here, here, and could clip the north and east United States. Something to definitely watch out for in case this were to develop. Certainly something to watch out for because it's pretty impressive, pretty interesting. In terms of wind, I need to actually change my regions at where I'm at. 984 millibar hurricane, pretty strong right there. Definitely going to cause some rip currents towards Puerto Rico. Definitely Bahamas, and depending on how far west it goes, could certainly pose a threat towards the southeast United States if this storm in fact does develop. We don't know if it's going to develop because, well, it doesn't exist yet. This is just a forecast model. This is just our model. This is just what the ECMWF is sort of predicting. So in terms of winds, ECMWF winds. Okay, perfect. Would you look at that? It shows that it already exists. Perfect. Beautiful. Winds are showing, and winds are already at 33, almost. Oh, we got a tropical storm, y'all. No, it has to be acknowledged by the National Hurricane Center, so it doesn't exist. I mean, it exists, but that's not the system. Actually, is that the system we're looking for? That might actually be the system we're watching for. Wow, would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen? Looks like a relatively strong storm here. 65, 70. As you can see, a 75-mile-an-hour hurricane there. Now, in terms of wind gusts, this would be significantly stronger in terms of wind gusts. Wind gusts in the storm could push to 130 to 135 miles an hour. So it'll be very powerful wind gusts in this storm. Really pushing as that storm continues. Looks like its strength really might even be way back here. As you can see, those wind gusts. We're talking 123, 130, probably close to 140 in some areas. 113, 130, 137, 139. So, I mean, this storm could have winds as high as 140 mile per hour wind gusts. In terms of how strong it actually is, yeah, not super duper strong. Actually, this might be its strength, or its peak right here. Might actually be its peak where we see 75, 76, maybe even 80 mile an hour sustained winds. So this storm could certainly be powerful in terms of what we're seeing here. So 78. So this could actually peak at could be another hurricane just in the North of the Caribbean, an 80 mile per hour hurricane. And according to the GFS, this is a very, very broad area low pressure out here. If we move it to time, you can see it incredibly broad. Nothing is tight. Sure, the eye wall is right here, y'all. Sure. Very broad. Nothing tight in terms of circulation. IR satellite imagery using weather.us. Okay. Alright. So that's the system we're going to be looking for and watching for in the future, because I think if the European model is if the European model is right, the National Hurricane Center needs to soon acknowledge these systems. European model. All parameters. paywall user and additional features subscription only. Okay. Teach max selection, free zoom. Farther south. Maybe I need to be a little farther to the west. Roughly right here, I think. Date. Change date. Oh. There she is. Look at that eye, y'all. Oh, really? Oh, Jesus, that was far north. That's for sure, y'all. That was really far north. Let's move south down here. I want to see if I can get a good image of that eye, because I did see it. There she is. Look at that eye, y'all. Let's go back a little bit. Look at that eye. So again, we could be dealing with the Category 2, or a Category 1, maybe even a Category 2 hurricane pretty soon. Alright, we could have our first Cat 2 hurricane of the year. This certainly isn't out of the realm of possibility. Certainly something that I'm going to be watching. Something that the Hurricane Watch is going to be forecasting to the best of our abilities. Going to be tracking this storm very, the best that we can, as quickly, as accurately as we can. Sorry, the camera isn't working. I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that the stream is better next time. I gotta edit this. I need to start editing the streams a little bit more because I need to make sure that the thumbnail, the everything is good, so I can get better views, so I can inform more people. The more views I get, the more people I'm able to inform about these tropical systems. So I'm gonna go and do that. So just kind of want to do a little brief 30-minute update on the tropics. That's usually what these little streams are about. Probably going to end it off there. Kind of don't want to go into super duper deep depth about anything. I'm probably going to start doing more videos and go into more depth about tropical systems that we're going to be watching. So certainly that we're going to be watching for sure in the future if this does in fact develop. Now winds could certainly be pretty strong. I think these winds, I mean, based on satellite, these winds could easily be, they look strong. I don't actually know if they are strong. Alright, let's take a look at wind direction, wind speed, and winds. I can't even measure, I can't even see anything. Okay, the direction's a little, I see 72, 84. Let's get a little bit closer because I'm having a hard time. 90-mile-an-hour sustained winds, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing 90 miles per hour right there. That's not a Category 2. It's still a Category 1. If you remember Hurricane Hannah in 2020, made landfall there in South Texas there, was a Category 1 hurricane with winds of 90 miles an hour, according to the National Hurricane Center at times of landfall. So, we're seeing tropical storm force winds extend pretty far out. Here's 38, so roughly this far out. And then hurricane force winds extend pretty far out also. Anything more intense in terms of, I don't think I can zoom in anymore. That's as far as I can zoom in. Does that say 90? How about wind? So this right here, I literally forgot what I'm looking at. Mean wind speed So this is the mean wind speed. So this is the average wind speed with streamline. So we're seeing winds of peaking at around 100 miles per hour now, according to the European model, if this storm does exist. 100 miles an hour is really strong. Lots of rip currents with this system. So we got a 100 mile an hour hurricane. Alright, we're seeing it up to 100 miles per hour. Now wind gusts. 150 miles per hour. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing up to 150 mile an hour wind gusts. So these wind gusts would be really, really powerful. Really, really strong. And also these wind gusts would be incredibly dangerous. Because, you know, if any ships out there, any kind of sea crafts out there, any ships, any boats, anything like that would practically get destroyed. 150 mile an hour wind gusts. That was how strong Hurricane Laura was. That was its peak winds, were 150 miles per hour. Now at 330 feet, we're seeing peak winds of over 114 to 115 miles an hour. So again, 100, this is 3 hour gusts, 6 hour I think. But just an incredibly powerful storm there. Now if we go in the future a little bit more in terms of what the peak winds actually could be. So we're going to go to wind direction and wind speed. This is the average wind speed. Oh, not that one. Not that one. No. Mean wind speed. There we go. 100 miles an hour. Alright, let's go and change the time. Change date. Really? This is so dumb. 92, 188. So 100 seems to be its peak. Gosh, I wish it would just stay with the storm. There's 84. There's 81. Okay, so what about 198? There's 88. And then there's 91. There's 86. We should go straight out to 240 hours. So as you can see, the storm is in fact significantly weakening according to, so the European model shows peak at like, oh god, I just need to zoom out because I can't see nothing. A little bit more. This seems to be its peak right here, with where winds peak at around 100 miles an hour. Could be stronger, could be weaker. We're just going to have to see. We're going to have to really watch what this system does, so. Oh, wow, that's kind of scary looking. Wow, look at that. Very incredible storm. We're going to be watching this in the future, so does anyone have any comments, questions, or concerns? I'm probably going to end off the storm. Did I say storm? I'm probably going to end off the stream here because it's mainly what I wanted to talk about, and I kind of got it out, so we're going to be watching in the future, but probably going to end off there. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll keep you updated with updates on this in the future. And with all that being said, have a wonderful rest of your morning, and I'll talk to you later this afternoon. Peace out.